Yes, my people, as the hot, it don't happen. No. Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council don't call on international communities to hold APC and the Lagos State Governor accountable. They're responsible for the attack of our fellow Obidient yesterday. Please, my Obidient family, just hit this like button so that all APC members that go see this video, just share and tag any APC member for the comment section. Please let us not take this election as a violence election. Let us take it as a free and fair and violence-free election. Please let me leave in the hands of our brother Valentine Ozigbo. Make it took mouth for this topic. As in the Arrest TV, they analyze all this. So please share, comment, and hit the like button.
The Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council has called on the international community to hold the APC and the Lagos State Governor responsible for the attacks. I mean, I don't know how much investigation the Labour Party has carried out, but the Lagos State chapter has described your accusation as, very irresponsible as well as reckless.
You see, there are trends to all this. Just also yesterday, there's been a viral video where you see a gathering of people being talked to. You must vote for APC or leave here. There's a lot. As a matter of fact, there should be more calls and more shouting. I am begging APC. A lot of what is happening, I can tell you if you dig further. And I want journalists to do investigative journalism. Figure out yourselves so what is going on. And we are, there's also this silly talk about Lagos Rec, the comments made about, all of these things should be stopped. We're looking for what can help douse the tensions, not to escalate the tensions. And I am pleading. What we also try to do is to cancel our team. Please be obedient. Don't respond. We want everybody to act responsibly, and that way we don't escalate things. Just like the case of the woman in the Bible, the Solomon, how people, two ladies dragging a baby, one wanted killed, and the other one said, no. When the child grows up, we will know eventually who the mother is. We plead for a peaceful Lagos, because we know we will certainly win Lagos State in presidential election at a minimum. And therefore, tension and violence is actually for the threatened, for the opponents who feel that under normal circumstances we've lost. So the only thing we can do is to use, but that's wickedness. If you sit in a room to fathom how to unleash violence in an election period, that's wickedness. And honestly, I pray to God to forgive them, if not punish those who are perpetrators.
You're projecting to win Lagos State for Labour during the presidential election, a state where Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC candidate, comes from. How daring could that be? Actually,
let me help you. We're not just winning Lagos State, we're winning Southwest. We're winning, there's been a trend of polls that have come out, but let me speak on the next year poll, which has projected that we're not only going to win Lagos, we're going to win Oyo, we're going to win Ogun State, we're going to win Ekiti State. And we're coming very close seconds in Ondo and Osun State. I'm sure in the next couple of days we'll also overtake in those two states. When these polls come out, people will dismiss it, oh, forget it, this and that. But this morning, just driving from my house to here, I was watching a video. Some videographer went around Ogun State, just who will you vote for, who will you vote for? And shockingly, YPTB was about 50-something, I sure it was about 20. So you know what I'm going to also challenge? Arise, come together with channels and TVC, take your camera, go to the streets and get your own post online so that people can believe these numbers. They're not fake. If you know anybody close to Asiwaju and Atiku, just tell them to stop running. This election is already won.
Well, many will argue with you and say, those type of polls cannot guarantee that, that will be the outcome, because obviously there are a lot of factors here, like you saw yesterday at the rally, either voter intimidation, and there'll be voter apathy or what have you. What do you say to that? And I also believe at Friday there was another report that came out, Premise Data Corp for Bloomberg, correct? It came out on Friday, predicting that Peter Obi will win 66% of the 93% of respondents' votes. What do you make of that?
So there are two kinds of polls. What I love about these polls, that number one, they are totally independent. none is close to, none of the posters that we engage. So what that means is, and guess what, we also have the privilege of seeing some of the polls coming from APC and PDP camps and use that to balance. When you see an online poll, not a face-to-face poll, P2B usually will trump. In fact, you need to add Atiku and Asiwaju's numbers multiplied by 2 or 3 before it gets to P2B's. That's for online. So let's say, okay, online aside, let's go to the face-to-face poll, especially in the rural communities. Don't forget, that was what Next Year did in their first poll. They abandoned, obviously there's no state controlled by Labour at the moment. They went to each of the geopolitical zones, picked one state from APC, one state from PDP, and avoided all the states where the candidates come from. And even in that poll, face-to-face with rural communities, they avoided school community, urban areas. In that face-to-face poll, P2B still came first. So because the Bloomberg premise data was purely online, that's why you see the huge margin.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you do a face-to-face, you'll see the margin tighten, but still sufficient margin for a landslide victory.
So much hope and attention on Mr. Peter Obi. Are you in your little kitchen cabinet room telling him that, yeah, we believe that you win, but then if it doesn't happen, sometimes politics work that way. Are you giving him some lessons using your own trajectory as to, what happened? Because you can't just force people to say reject older people, reject establishment, reject this. What if they don't?
Thank you. Incidentally, I wish we have enough time so I can tell you what happened in 2021 and how it's totally different from what is happening now. As a matter of fact, we know 1 or 2 factors that made the Anambra election go the way it did. And Anambra people also tell you they have realized their mistakes, but that's out of the way. More importantly is for P2B. P2B is actually such a conservative human being. You see, when we even discuss these polls, why do you think he works harder and harder than everybody else? Because it's not complacent. It's not saying, oh, I've won. No. He's still the hardest working in the presidential candidate. He's everywhere. He can be in 5 states in one day. Because, thank God, he has the physical and mental energy to do so. But there's something I always want to emphasize on, especially when I'm with him, which is about the undecided.
Yeah.
Why are they still undecided at a time like this? But thankfully, it is thinning out. When we did different polls in September, October, November, December, kept moving down from 37% to 20%. In more recent polls, actually some 10%. So that's fantastic. And what I also see is that these undecided voters, they already know the other 2 major candidates. So if they have remained undecided, that means they have rejected those ones. But in the case of P2, maybe they don't know enough yet. So they remain undecided. So the work of those who know is educate those who don't know. And that is going on. That's what campaign is about. And that's what media is also helping. And I'm so fascinated that, everything P2B has done is organic. And it spends little or nothing, especially when it comes to media, and still achieve this level of momentum because it's leading a movement. So I am not in any doubt that come February 25th, he is actually likely to win in the entire zones of Nigeria, including the Northwest and the Northeast. When we started this, when I talked about the Southwest zone, I spoke about the 4 states is leading already. But in the Northeast, for instance, states like Adamawa, where Atiku is from, he's leading. Yes, he's leading. A state like Gombe, a state like Taraba, and even Borno, these are states that he is certain to get 25% spread. And if you come to Northwest, shockingly, his performance in Katsina is shocking to even me sitting here. When I followed to go to campaign in Katsina, and the gentleman who is leading our Up North ambassadors spoke to me that we're going to win Katsina. I said, how? How is that possible? But when I saw poll confirming the same, so wow. So, this thing we talk about tribal or religious thing, is becoming a myth in the case of P2B. What I'm saying is, people not actually knowing enough before, because the more they know and the more they reject the status quo, the more they hunger for a new change, especially when they now check and see, oh wow, so all these things they say about P2B, they're actually verifiable, they're actually true. So the trend is fantastic, it's going up, and I won't be surprised because Kaduna as well is looking extremely good. Kano is also looking good. So if you can get all the KKK states, what are you talking about? Northwest is down. I am certain that P2B will win at first instance. For those who are actually predicting a runoff, it's a fallacy.
You're certain that he will win
He will
at
win.
first instance.
First instance.
Not so long ago, you contested the gubernatorial election in Anambra State under the platform of the People's Democratic Party.
Yes.
And now you switched
Yes.
to the Labour Party. Now, what convinced you to switch? And at what point did you realize that Peter Obi would win, or, like you say?
Fantastic question. For
overrun?
me, I'll tell you this. You know, there are two kinds of human beings in politics. Two kinds. There are those who support people because they feel they are better. And that's people of conscience, who are on principle. And that's why I salute the likes of, you know, Adebanjo of Afenifere, Dr. Pogo of Middleburg Forum, the Ohaneze, the Pandev, Chief Edwin Clark. These people and President Obasanjo took principled stand. This is the right thing to do for the unity of this country. So there are people who believe that this is the best fit. There are some who will know that this is the best fit and abandon looking for who they think will win. And that's what politicians do. They want access to power. I don't want to. So for some of us, we went into Peter Obi's project believing it's the best for Nigeria. In fact, the way we saw it, whether he wins or not, is irrelevant to us. That's why Pastor Sarah would say, let's go and waste our vote. We were ready to waste our vote on Peter Obi because it's the best. And if you're a man of conscience, that's what you will do. But if you're a tribal bigot, you will do the other way around. And no apologies. I'm telling you, but how can you see a Peter Obi and compare with the other two? How? On what basis? Mental energy, character, competence, track record? What are you talking about? However, so we followed Peter Obi because he is the best. And thank God, over time, he actually not only ticked the box of who is the best, he's actually the one who is to win. So if you're on this fence thinking, what should I do? Follow who know road. We know the road. We have experienced Peter Obi. We can tell you for free that he is going to do good in this country. And therefore, if you're also someone interested in access to power, come on board.
All right.
It can be tribal bigotry if you put in the mix what the current governor of Anambra State, Professor Soludo, is saying about your candidate. That, hey, he won't get.
But you would know why Soludo would say a thing like that. Soludo thought he should be the Peter Obi. I'm sorry, Soludo, he can't be Peter Obi. He can't even govern Anambra well. Fix Anambra for us. Focus on that. Why? What business has he got talking about Peter Obi? What business? Peter Obi didn't ask for support. Allow a level playing field. What? I don't want to talk about Soludo. If I've been silent about him, the truth is this. People who are of older generation have reprimanded him enough. That should be enough for him. People like us, let him be. Because we don't want to be accused of being part of his reason for his failure. We should focus on fixing Anambra State. That's all I can say to you.
All right, before we let you go, is there any truth to what's been circulating on social media? You said Peter Obi hasn't invested much in the media. But then there is this thing about 2 billion meant for the churches. There is a Dominion Christian Center who wrote a petition to CAN alleging that the money was mismanaged. Did any 2 billion naira emanate from?
I've not even seen that. How much more been through? I mean, how? 2 billion and we haven't paid our rights to cover our events? Come on, let's talk about something else.
So yeah.
No shishi.
So yesterday was the finale of your campaign. Really quickly, how do you think you guys have fared so far?
Yesterday is the mother of all rallies, but we're not done. Rallies continue. I can tell you, Peter B will still junket and truncate every part of Nigeria in the next coming days until rallies are meant to stop. But yesterday marked the conclusion of our visit in all the 37 locations, 36 states and Abuja. So we'll reserve the best for the last, and we're excited. We are going into this election with huge momentum. And we're thankful to the Nigerian youths. The reality is that youths, you are the true hero of democracy, not the other people that I mentioned.
Right. But a lot of people would think that